Why, hello there, and welcome to a stream that I'm still setting up. Hello and welcome, one and all. I bet you'll never believe it, but it is a stream. It is a stream, and it is my normal stream time. I did it. I know that the odds always seem against me in this, but tonight we shall get a stream on a normal day at a normal time for my channel. And that is a glorious thing. We should rejoice, all of us together. Um so hello one and all. Hello everybody. I'm still getting everything pulled up here, but rest assured we will be talking about stuff. And there will also be some mention of things as well. Um I have to thank Nesseros. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. That's very nice of you to do that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, yep. And here we are. So, yep. As we get going, I just want to grab my link tree so I can put that in there in the chat. In the chat. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're having a great day or night or whatever it may be for you. I'm doing pretty great. I am a little bit tired, but also feeling weirdly energized today. Like hard to describe. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and there's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff, and there are also quite a few things happening as well. Um, yeah, no, but I've been extremely busy with like flow art stuff lately. And so honestly, I have been paying attention, but not as closely as I usually do. Just because I've been so busy, I haven't really had the time to like stay completely caught up with everything. But I'm here and I am aware that oil and gas is still going up, and if this thing doesn't resolve, things are going to get wild, substantially more wild, I should say, for words that make sense. Let's see here. Emily, hello, welcome, tuning in, freaked out about the world, ready to sit with my feelings in your chat. I appreciate that. Always welcome, everyone. And yes, it is. The things that are happening are pretty not great. So it is something to that we will talk about. But I'm not gonna try to doom pimp. So, Amber, hello, and Dadzilla, hello. Uh, Beer, by the way, not seeing chat on PC side. Oh, weird. I'm not sure. Do you mean like the actual chat box, or do you mean the on-screen chat? Because, well, no, the on-screen chat is definitely there. Um, that's really weird. I have it all turned on and everything. Like everything should be working as normal. Maybe you may have to like chat box. Oh shoot, you may have to restart or something. I don't know. Not entirely sure what's going on there, to be totally honest with you. But we will soldier on. As we get going here, please hit that like button. That would help me out very much so. And I would appreciate any help we can get to get the stream going, get people in here to join the conversation and the stream. Yeah. So, I did want to say also, by the way, the podcast we recorded the first episode, what was that? Wednesday. That was on Wednesday. And I'm gonna edit that and have that out, like, I don't know, this weekend. So look forward to that. Next week, I will be at an event like Wednesday through Sunday, and then also probably exhausted Monday. So I don't know the status of streams for next week. We will have to see what happens there, but I will try to record a video probably on Monday to release over the weekend while I'm gone so that there's at least a little bit of content to fill the gap. Um Hey y'all, gonna listen while shooting my first roll of film. Oh, sweet. Welcome, Sage. Happy to have you. Of course, of course. And I did want to just address the stream time weirdness. I know my streams have been getting like more and more random with the days and the times that I start streaming. And like, I apologize for that. Like definitely not like my intention is not to have a terrible viewer experience. That is not what I'm going for here, and honestly, it's pretty much just because my life has been super chaotic. Like, basically, to explain it, like, my normal streaming schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Well, these events that I go to during the summer are often, like, weekend events, but I have to travel, so, like, I'm usually, like, packing like Wednesday and Tuesday, and then I'm traveling Wednesday and Thursday, and then I'm there throughout the whole weekend, and then like Monday I'm exhausted, and so it like kind of ruins almost an entire week of streaming at my normal schedule. And I kept thinking that like maybe it would be better if I just tried to stream whenever I get the time. That way, like I could try to stream on a Monday and a Tuesday before I head out to a festival or something to make sure that there's some extra streams out there. But I think having the streams at a bunch of different times and in a bunch of different whatevers has just been confusing for everybody. And I apologize for that. My intention is not to be confusing. That's not what I'm trying to go for here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like maybe I do just need to take time off for the events and just accept that I'm just gonna miss streams when I have to miss streams. Uh, Lily, welcome to the stream. Been a minute since I caught you live. Hello, welcome to happy to have you. Dobby, welcome. Hello. It's okay. You don't stream while in the toilet, so you aren't nearly as unprofessional as some people discussing politics. What? Okay, that's interesting. I've not heard of anybody streaming in a toilet. But like honestly, that would kind of like for how stupid things are lately. I feel like talking about it in a toilet almost might be like thematically fitting. Uh, Stream at your convenience. We're all having an effed up year. You're allowed to do this at your own time. Well, right. So, yes, but also like I did jump into this full time. Like this is like pretty much my job right now. And like I like to be clear, like I am making some money from doing what I'm doing, but I am making very very little money. Like not enough money to live off of. And so like there is this pressure where it's like if I don't if I don't grow my channel fast enough, if I don't do certain things and like increase my revenue somehow, then eventually I will run out of money and I will need to, like find a different way to like support myself, which will take attention away from the channel in a way from me being able to make content and stuff. And, like, I really wanna do this full time. Like, I seriously wanna do this full time. I really love doing this full time. It is very nice. It makes me happy. It's a very, like, fulfilling job in the sense that, like, I get to chat with all of you and, feel like I get to have an impact on a broader scale, than just my own personal little bubble, which is nice. Like, it's nice feeling like I'm able to do things for people and have an impact and make a difference in the world. Like that is what I live for. So I want to keep doing something like that, and like working at a fast food place or doing something like that makes me want to like not be doing anything. Actually, it's very awful and terrible, and I've done 8 years of food, and I am over it. I went to college and got degrees that do not work well for making money. And so yeah, anyway, let me see here. Blarg, welcome Lauren. Stream whenever is best for you. Also, bandana game on point. I'm jealous of that color. I love this color. This is my favorite color bandana. I have a few of this color, and it's my favorite for sure. Turtlebird, welcome. I'm on the tail end of the recovery from my final gender affirming surgery. Oh well, congratulations. That's wonderful. I'm happy to hear that from for you. That's super cool, super sick and wonderful and amazing and fantastic and stupendous. Yeah. So, just had yummy fish and potatoes. Well, I love to hear that. Where did I get that bandana? Off of Amazon. Surprise, surprise. I know you never saw that coming. I know you thought that I had some super secret, extra cool bandana store that like I know of that like I'm like ordering my bandanas off the deep web or whatever. But no, it's just Amazon. Literally just Amazon. I searched bandanas on Amazon and that's what I got. Yeah. Um Welcome Asura, Leah's streaming and slaying again. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Uh uh to be fair, the non-profitable degrees change every decade or so. I don't know what you mean, to be honest. Uh anyway, I am I was yeah, anyway, I am here and I am chatting and there are people anarchist queer local bandana store slash cat sanctuary. Exactly. That is where people think that I buy my bandanas from. But unfortunately, I just got it off of Amazon. I would like to have like honestly cooler bandanas than the ones that I feel like the ones that I have kind of aren't that cool, to be honest. Um, Soon I have my appointment with Planned Parenthood for my progesterone to take alongside my E. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I was going to get a consultation for SRS, but then they removed Medicaid coverage for trans surgeries in Ohio. Yes, that is extremely disappointing and sad, unfortunately. That could change in the future, but we are definitely on the defense here in Ohio. Like, Ohio is not a good state for trans rights, and like you should not like I don't know how to say this in a way that's like not doomer sounding, but like living in Ohio, you just like you have to set your expectations for the state you're living in, right? Like living in Ohio, I kind of expect things to be shitty in terms of trans rights. Like we have a super majority. There are some freaks in the Ohio legislature that are like obsessed with trans people in a bad way. And they constantly are fighting to dehumanize us and make things worse for the trans community. So that's like a real thing that happens in Ohio constantly. And I have like done things to try to fight against that. And I have played defense and I have made efforts to combat the backslide of rights in Ohio. But, like, I'm not trying to say it is what it is, but it is what it is. Like, it literally is what it is. Um, I'm not even sure if I need it, but it sucks having the option taken away. No, for sure. No, for sure. Like, I feel that. Like, it really does suck. Like, I honestly, I kinda want, like, to get an Orky for gender affirming reasons. And, I, like, can no longer I'm not even on Medicaid right now because like long story short, my Medicaid application got fucking denied because of some stupid, very, very stupid thing that happened that I don't want to get into because it's a long story. But essentially, yeah, I have to like reapply for Medicaid. I'm like currently uninsured, like completely uninsured, which is super awesome. But yeah, I was gonna try to go through the process to get like an Orky, but nope. Not that's not gonna happen apparently, which is super cool. Makes me very excited to live in the land of the free, as they say. Ugh. Um Someone says I started Prague about a weekish ago. That's awesome. Good for you. I am still on 200 milligrams, and yeah, it kind of sucks. There's like a weird thing happening with progesterone where there's like a constant back order happening, and apparently it has to do with the manufacturer, which is really unfortunate, very frustrating. So like I'm sort of stuck on 200 milligrams, which is not great. That is not something that I have been enjoying. I feel very foggy. I feel very uh like it's just too much for me. It's too high of a dose. Um but yeah, I'm like unfortunately stuck sort of on the 200 milligrams for now, which is unfortunate. Tail end of surgery, double entendre of the week. Congrats, though. That's so funny. Uh, bu- 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 I managed to get an Orky earlier this year. It's very easy to recover from, and I feel amazing. Yeah, I'm very jealous. It does seem like a very good thing. Isn't 200 standard for Prague though? I honestly like a lot of I see a lot of people on 100. I do see people on 200 as well, but I am like hypersensitive to medication. Thank you for the hydrate rat 45 Haitian. Water is very good. I do love some water. That is something I've been known to drink water from times. From time to time or something. Uh Yeah, no, so, like, I'm, like, pretty hypersensitive to medication, like, I'm on a pretty low dose of estrogen, as well as other things, and, when I started, HRT, they, like, start you on a pretty low dose, and they, like, ramp up, right? Because that's just, like, what they do with basically all medication, right? When they started me on the partial dose, my levels were, like, almost good from, like, the partial dose. Um, and so like I was like basically in cis female range, like the very low end of it, but I was in cis female range from like I think it was a half a dose or maybe even a little less than that when I got started. Uh let's see here. Happened to my friend in Indiana. Her healthcare was canceled the day she got HRT for some BS reason. Well, that is really stupid. My for me, like, okay, what happened to me was I had healthcare. My premium went from $79 a month to like 579, like basically $600 a month. And so I was like, fuck, I can't afford that. So I like had to cancel my insurance and I tried to apply for Medicaid, but some stupid shit happened where somehow they ended up getting my records for both my current name and my dead name or something. And they got really confused about it. And then like it took them forever to process my application. And by the time they got to my Medicaid application, like I like they like sent me a letter and I was out of town and I got back and I opened the letter and it was like we need like your birth certificate and your social and all this stuff by tomorrow. And I was like, well, literally cannot achieve that. So I'll go fuck myself, I guess. And then I got a letter and they were like, yeah, we denied you because we didn't get the information we requested, which I didn't have time to submit because it took them so long to process my application and like by the time I got the letter, I only had like less than a week to take action, which is not cool. Very much not cool. So now I have to like reapply to Medicaid, which is really dumb. Um 200 whatever's too much. Interesting. Well, I don't really know why that's so interesting to be totally honest with you. Like I see some people that are on 200 milligrams and they're fine, and some people that are on it and it's too much. Like it seems like a pretty common thing. I'm unsure of what's. I prefer water with flavors and carbonation. I mean, I drink sparkling waters all the time, but I don't drink stuff with like sugar in it and stuff because that's like bad for you. You know, it's like it's not good to drink sugar, uh, because it's like it's just bad for you. I was on 4 milligrams E for the first 4 months, but the 3 month mark I was within cis female range. Now I'm on 6. I don't know pill dosage or whatever. Um, I really am not super familiar with the dosage that most people are on for different things. My first dose of estro was so low, I technically was on PMS for a couple of months. My Medicaid application this year almost got fucked up because a credit agency verifies identities for the state and they had my dead name on file. All my documents have been changed for years. Yeah, exactly. Like I have all my information changed with Social Security. I've changed like all the important stuff, right? And so like it freaking like it makes me so mad that I sent in my application and they got the like information all mixed up and it's like why is it now it's my problem to try to fix it, but they didn't even give me enough time to fix it. It was just a really dumb shit. Okay. Well, anyway. Well, anyway. Um, yes. So there, I watched a thing. Essentially, we are going to have some problems if the conflict keeps going on. Just to kind of like jump topics a little bit. Um, uh, there we go. What? Why? Wait. Why is it your problem for the fact they mix something up? That makes absolutely no sense. That's like blaming a kid for breaking something. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I 100% agree. Like, it's really goofy that, um, it's somehow like my problem. But and like I can reapply, but uh, the Medicaid system is like super overwhelmed right now because the ACA subsidies expired and there was no backup plan. There was literally nothing. Trump has been saying for like 10 years that he has a healthcare plan, and he literally does not have a healthcare plan. And so like, the subsidies lapsed, and so like a shit ton of people's insurance went up by like 600, 800% or whatever. Like went up insane amounts. And like so a lot of people had to cancel their insurance, like had to choose like being able to pay rent over health insurance, which is a horrible choice to have to make. Like you have families who are like going without food so they can afford their health insurance. It's disgusting. So anyway, there's a ton of people who are like who are applying for Medicaid, and so the Ohio Medicaid system is like flooded with people. And it's just in the system, there've been cuts, and it's not. Yeah, I was supposed to get on a new med for my seizures, and I nearly had to pay for like almost $1,400 for just one med. This is the first time insurance hasn't been able to cover a med for me. Wow, that's really messed up. I'm sorry to hear that, Ohio weather. Um, yeah, the insurance industry is a fucking scam. We need to moving into the future of politics. Like there are a lot of things that need to fundamentally change. One of the main things that needs to fundamentally change is that like health insurance as a for-profit industry in the trash, in the fucking bins. Throw it in a bin, pour gasoline on it, light that shit on fire. Unbelievably bad for society, for humanity. Like there are so many downstream negative effects of for-profit health insurance industries that it's indescribable, and like people are literally dying because of it. Like it is not just like, oh, like some in the margin shit. Like it is life or death for people. And you just like you have like these business executives trying to deliver value for shareholders when the business model involves like paying for life-saving health procedures for people. And so like when you try to trim the fat from a business like that for shareholder value, the fat you're trimming are people's fucking lives. And so it's just it's not okay. It's not tenable. It's clearly not working for anybody. And like and the burden gets put on the the system anyway. Everyone always says like, "Oh, well, if you do a public option or whatever, you're going to put all of the burden of everyone's health issues on the state." Well, guess what? It ends up becoming a problem for the state anyway because there are so many people who are completely unable to afford things. You gotta like fucking, oh my god. I just Ashlyn says busy but made it. Welcome. I'm happy to see you here. Um Insurance covered my syringes and needles, but not my estradiol. It was so fucking stupid. Had to fight for 2 weeks. Finally got a 6 month supply, so time to do it again in 6 months. Yeah, exactly. We have to fight and fight and fight just to get the things that we need to survive, and that should not be a business model. It should not be the way that it works. Um it's fucked. The good RX coupons are the only reason my 90-day HRT supply is less than $60. Yeah, I'm on a because I got denied insurance, right? I'm on like a sliding, like a poverty, like in like there's the gender clinic I go to has like a sliding scale thing, and because I make so little money, I'm able to get on that. So that's the only reason I don't have to pay like insane amounts of money for my hormones. Um UBI and universal health care. Yeah, like you should not have to work uh 3 full-time jobs just to fucking afford like the cost of living in our country. Like that's absurd. I think everyone should, like the necessities should be sort of just handled by the state so that people can do the things that they need to do to live a fulfilling and productive life. Like I think one of the biggest myths of capitalism is that like people, if left to their own devices, would be like unproductive, lazy, uh n- like zero value producing parasites. And I think that that's stupid and that's wrong. Like of course the evidence that they always give are like, oh, look at the public, whatever. Well, we live in a like a consumeristic society, and so like our society, uh, like kind of breeds like indifference and the attitudes of people are a result of the exploitative capitalistic systems that exist, constantly causing people to like break their backs or be terrified about the possibility of falling into poverty or being stuck unable to pay their rent. But in a society where we provided for people, that would not be an issue. Would not be a fucking issue at all. We would have the stuff that people needed to get by so that people could do the things that they like want to do to contribute to society. Because like I don't like like, do you know, like, I don't know, do you know anyone who's just like, "No, I just wanna do nothing forever." Like, the only people that I know that are like that are people that are extremely depressed and, like, psychologically struggling, and, like, they should get the help that they need to, move out of that state and be able to be happy and find value and purpose in their life. Also, just a quick reminder for everyone to go ahead and hit the like button on the stream. That'd be super sick. Would love that very, very much. So please and thank you. We may need to go back to the buying and bartering system. You mean the bartering and trading system? I mean maybe we'll see what happens with the economy. Right now, things are looking extremely bad. Like uh, I don't know. We are going to have to do some stuff to get through what's gonna happen because it's gonna be pretty bad. Like, gonna be pretty bad. Emily, don't do that in my chat. If anyone needs Spiro, message me. We are not doing like eBay for hormones in chat right now or anti androgens. We are not doing that. Please do not do that in my chat. Hey there, Jay. Just listening as usual. Welcome. Happy to have you here. I used to be able to stock up on vials every month, but not anymore. Yeah, it definitely is. If you have the opportunity, you should stock up on stuff. I definitely did that before I ran into insurance issues, and that has been. I'm very glad I did that. Is what I will say. Went over to YouTube just to like again. Oh well, I appreciate you. Thank you. That's very nice. I had a boss that waved his gun around to scare us, and I had to hold that job to feed my kiddo. Well, that's that is certainly evidence of the rot of capitalism for sure. And that sounds very not good and sounds like we might in fact have some problems there. Um Yeah, pretty sure that's not legal. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Like George Carlin said, if you need motivational books to better your life, you are motivated enough to go get those books. Looks like you really didn't need those books. Um, yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I do know people like this, but most of them do have terrible mental health. The few who don't though still have interests and hobbies. After all, having a calling is from Protestant work ethic. Yeah, so, like no, exactly, that's what I'm saying, like, there are people that are, like, kinda lazy and kinda don't wanna do a lot of stuff, but most of those people are extremely unhealthy, mentally and struggling with things in their life. Like, a lot of those people, I think it's, like, a product of the system kinda thing, you know? Like, I think what I see from people in general is that, like, if people are given the chance to live a life without having to worry about the stresses of like being able to afford rent and whatever, they will do what they feel called to do, and they will like I know what you said, that like having a calling is from a product Protestant work ethic, but like people do kind of have something that they feel like drawn to naturally, right? Like everyone's got like an affinity to certain things, and so I think if you kind of let everyone loose, we would sort of naturally all of us would sort of naturally fall into a niche that would work for everybody. And I think this is like evident by the fact that like human society worked for an incredibly long time without capitalism. Like I think that that is evidence of that. The fact that like capitalism did not exist for a long time. Societies used to be a lot simpler, smaller, less people, but like, people filled in the gaps of what was needed in society and made things work. And like that is kind of just like there will always just be people like that, who are willing or able. And so yeah, like I think that we should trust people to do that shit. Like I want to be, like I want to be a full-time artist, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But like I think that being a full-time artist is like providing value in the world. Like I go out and I teach at events, and I spend a lot of time organizing in my community and doing a lot of stuff. Like it's not just pleasure, like people tend to view like art or like things like that as like, oh, you're just like doing that for fun or whatever. Becca the fourth, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Thank you. But yeah, like people tend to think that like, oh, like if you're an artist, you're just out there like living the dream or whatever. But like art and being an artist does take like effort and time and money and like energy to do. And so like like I don't know, there's this whole thing with art and capitalism that's really frustrating to me. But like if you want to be an artist in capitalism, it's like be prepared to work yourself to the bone so that you can work yourself to the bone over your art. Like it's really frustrating, but like if you want to get by and be an artist in society, it asks a lot of you in ways that it doesn't ask of other people. Like if my passion just so happened to be like engineering or machine shop working or whatever. Like if I was really into metalworking, you know what I mean? Like I would be doing financially substantially better, and my hobby like or not my hobby, my passion would sort of be like my job, right? Like there are some people like that who like their thing is a thing, and they're doing that thing as a job, and that thing pays them enough money to live. And when you're young and you're in a capitalistic society, that is the sloppy joe that is fed to you on a shitty plate. Like you're in the cafeteria and they're feeding you barely food, and that barely food is saying to you that if you just work hard and you find what you love to do in life, you'll never work a day because you'll be doing the thing that you love. But unless you're an artist, if you're an artist, none of that shit applies. You have to just work at McDonald's and then do your art up until like 3 in the morning, and then not get enough sleep and struggle with work life balance forever. Yay. Make sure you're productive. Make sure you're productive. We need low effort places to get these people back on track to better their lives with or without the connotations of religion or whatnot. Yeah. When you find out the things you can do that to stand out in space. Be the only. Jimmy Carr. Sure. Art is essential to human culture and society. Yeah, like people always act like art is this frivolous thing, but like would you want to live in a world where art doesn't exist? Like does anybody want to live in a world where art doesn't exist? Like in a world where art doesn't exist, like there's no video games, there's no movies, There's no books, no music. Like I would argue that almost everything worth making life worth living is like art. It's like related to art, right? Like you can argue that like fashion is art. You can argue that like the way you do your hair is art. You can argue that like makeup is art. You can argue that like relationships, that's kind of art in a way. Like there are so many things, and the world. Even if you just use the very basic definition of art, right, where it's like music, whatever, fucking Netflix and stuff. Like still, no one wants to live in that world where you don't have that shit. Nobody wants to live there. Nobody. Uh, the USA is like so screwed. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Hey Lauren. Um, Everyone does work. It's just that many people can't monetize their work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, no, for sure. Not everyone. Some people are lazy AF, but I consider creative hobbies as work. Yes. No, that's so sure. For sure. And like I've had this with people in my past where like people will like with flow arts, for instance. Like, yes, I do enjoy doing flow arts. Flow arts is important to me in a very deep way, and I love it. Like I love it. It's my passion. It is art to me. But you would be a fool if you think that I don't have to work for it. Like I spend hours a day practicing, and I like spend hours of my own time like making content to help people learn, and I like craft workshops to teach travel so that I can teach people, and I travel to teach people. Like there's a lot that goes like I like organizing takes effort. And so like I you know like I spend a lot of time doing art, like doing the art itself. And yes, that can be very pleasurable. But also like there's a lot of work that goes into that, right? It's like watching someone do art and you're like, "Oh, you must just be having the best time of your life." But you don't see the hours of practice. You don't see the frustrations and the struggles that that person has had to go through to arrive at that creative expression. Like it really is something that you kind of have to fight for in ways, and like it takes energy, and it's like it's not easy, you know? And so like yeah, I think there's a lot of people like I don't know, consumerism kind of just makes people think that like it ain't real hard work, so it's not work or whatever. But it's like it is hard work, and and that's what people don't seem to understand. Oh boy. I think influencers and stock traders are actually not doing work. In fact, being a right wing influencer is actually anti work since it harms society and consumes rather than produces. It's better for Matt Walsh to do no work at all than whatever he is doing. Well, I would say that, like, okay, I would say that there are like what I would agree with what you said about Matt Walsh. Like it would be better if Matt Walsh just simply shut the fuck up and like went and shoved his head up his own ass even further than it already is, so that he's like in his own colon. Like I think that would be fantastic. I think the world would be better. I think that he provides no value, no positive value, and only seeks to harm society and broaden the gaps and the polarization and widen increase the levels of hatred and bigotry in the world. Like I would agree with that entirely. But and I would even agree that like stock traders like stock market investor shareholder bullshit, like that is also not work, and that is also not like real, and those people are also not providing value in a real way to the world. But I would say that there are influencers that do work. Like I would say that like doing this stream is work. It is. It takes energy from me. And like I think that like I don't know, when you're like again, when you're watching the stream from a viewer point of view, it's probably pretty relaxing. You're probably sitting there enjoying the sound of my voice and listening to me ramble about whatever the fuck I'm rambling about at the time, right? Like that's cool and valid and stuff, but you have to understand that like I have to turn on this camera and I have to like talk for like hours at a time And it's like having a conversation where you have to be always on for like 3 hours straight, right? And so like let's imagine that you have a friend who wants to talk to you 3 days a week for 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours at a time. And when you talk to them, you have to be like hyper engaged. You have to be like on. You have to be like super like into it and really like go hard at it and like yeah. So, like, that's kinda what being a streamer is like, where, like, you have to, like, hyper engage, right? And you have to really, like, try. And then there's also editing, right? So, I record my videos, and I try to make the editing process as minimal as possible because I'll be totally honest with you, editing is the bane of my existence. It makes me want to rip my face off. But, it does take a lot of effort to edit. And I actually do have a lot of, respect for content creators who clearly put a lot more time into their own editing process than I do. It actually makes me feel like really inadequate, and I know that it's not about comparing myself to others because I do different content than other people, but like people like Luxaria, like she does so much incredible editing for her YouTube channel, and like I wish I almost wish that I could be like that. Like I almost wish I could have the cool transitions and like the funny cutaways and the stuff that gets like people like grabs their attention and like holds it and does all that great stuff. Like I really wish I could do that, but I absolutely suck at at editing. So, oh right, I forgot about you. I meant right-wing propaganda influencers. No, yeah, I feel you. I kind of get where you were going with that. I just wanted to clarify. Salvador Dali's most acclaimed work is from 1929 to 1939. Crucially, before he became popular in the United States and started making a lot of money, capitalism made him meek. That's interesting. That's the issue with the conservative worldview. It is very Soviet, very Russian. It reduces everyone to cattle. Yeah. Exactly. Like, there's this like capitalism creates this consumer mindset where like everyone is just sort of like cattle to consume. Why are you not consuming? Nom, 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 nom. You gotta eat, you gotta consume, you must consume. You know, like that is like constantly the mindset, and you know, and like and people, like you know, you go, you work a long day, and you do stuff, and you're tired, and then at the very end of that long day, like yeah, like capitalism kind of just like creates a system where you want to just like fucking not, or you just want to like just vegetate after work or whatever. I totally get that. Editing is a skill set. A year from now, you will be better at it. Don't sweat the editing. Well, like I've been editing for years. Like it's not I'm not getting I like really I don't mean this in like a self-critical way. Like I actually suck at editing. Dead Domain just started streaming. I'm gonna hop over there. See ya. Oh, see you later, banana brains. Um I'm not getting better at it, and it's because, like, when I edit my videos, I do the cut, like, I go through and I cut the stuff, and I do the stuff, but, like, I just, like, don't like, not only do I not know how to do all the cool cuts and transitions, I don't know what I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking for, like, I don't even know, I just don't have the sauce, right? Like, some people have the sauce for editing, and some people don't. And, like, I just don't. Like, maybe I'm really good at talking and yapping and doing certain things like that, but my skill set definitely does not include editing. Like, I freaking suck at editing. I'm not creative with it at all. Like, it's like my editing is like bare bones, basic bitch shit. Which is like partially one of the reasons why I've like thought about, wanting an editor would be a pretty cool thing because like having an editor makes it so that I don't have to someone else can have the sauce and like provide sauce for the channel, but because I don't have the sauce. I have like other kinds of sauce, but you know what I mean? Whew. My nose is so stuffy right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Lucy, you've got some consuming to do. Yeah, exactly. I can't stand to hear myself recorded. Oh yeah, for real. Same here, honestly. Like when I listen to the sound of my own voice, I hate it. Like I yeah, I do not. Editing kind of sucks for that for a reason. I edit AMVs for cons. I feel the same way. I always feel like I suck at it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, very much do not feel like I am good at it. And like there are some people that are extremely good at it. And like I'll be honest, like it's one of those things like you know how like sometimes you watch people do something and they're good at it and you're like, "Oh, I understand why they're good at that because like, you know, they did this and that and that. That's what makes them so good at it." But like when I watch really good edits, it's like I kind of don't even really know like how people do the things that they're doing. Like I don't even really understand like what all goes into it. Like, yeah, my editing is just extremely basic. Every time I've ever tried to do like an actual edit, like a meme edit or something on my videos, it goes very poorly, and I feel like it always looks really bad. And it's like, well, it's not really worth it if you can't do it in a way that like works, you know. So yeah, but anyway, whew. So I was watching some stuff, right? And I don't know how many people watched it, but Joe Rogan had like a clip that went kind of viral or whatever, where like Steve-O was on, and Steve-O like brought up trans people in an attempt to like have a conversation about like empathy and like kindness and stuff. And like Joe Rogan just kind of used the moment to like rant about trans people and like be kind of a huge fucking piece of shit for like 20 minutes straight. And like I watched the footage of it and like I don't know. I really want to like I really want to like I really want to like not think Steve-O is a piece of shit. And like I don't think he's a piece of shit necessarily. But like there's like a thing that happened during this segment where like so Steve-O had like a really like, you know, the thing that he brought up was like good. And it was like uh like I kind of want to just grab the clip. Like I kind of just want to grab the clip. Let me see if I can find it. People still watch that douchebag. Yeah, the Joe Rogan guy. Unfortunately, people still do talk. Oh, watch. Uh, let me see here. Um, I don't know if this is the clip that I need. Here, let me watch it. People still Rogan specifically? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, unfortunately people still watch Joe Rogan. I don't understand why because like he like all he's done is like have billionaires and like I really don't understand how people haven't realized like what he's up to. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand why people are still like wait. Okay, well, I found a video. It's like weirdly edited. Um here. Let me just let me just let me just get this pulled up here. I don't know how this is gonna work. Oh, I still have give me a second. This is a mess. There's stuff everywhere. Wait, why is the chat there it is. Okay. And then here and then we want wait. No, we do want chat above. I want to go over no, I forgot. I'm gonna minimize chat a little bit. Yeah, that's what we're doing. and then we go there, and then that's perfect. And then this, boom, whoa, that's Stevo. Look at that. Isn't that that is certainly the O of Steve's. Um uh okay, cool. So here's a clip. Okay, here's the clip. Let me. Okay, so this is Stevo. He's like on Joe Rogan, right? And he's just trying to like tell a story or something, right? So this is oh, let me also turn the audio on so you can actually hear what's going on. That would be helpful.
And I'm buying groceries in the supermarket in LA, and the person ringing me up on the cash register is like seems pretty evidently transgender, and I'm just like, dude, it's like the fucking universe is giving me signs over here, you know? And so like I ask this.
Oh, and what he means by that with the universe giving him signs or whatever is that like I guess Stevo was considering getting a breast augmentation as one of his stunts, which is probably one of the most stupid things that he could possibly ever do. And yeah, it's but anyway, that's what he meant by like a sign or something. But
Didn't even occur to me up to this point that I need to like run it by anybody, because I'm like, fuck it, my body, my choice. Who cares? You know, I'm doing a dumb stunt to like, you know, be crazy. But in this situation, talk to this transgender person, like, hey, can I run something by you? And I spoke with them. They described to me a level of oppression that genuinely fucking broke my heart. They said, hey, let me tell you, like, I am not allowed to use the bathroom at my own place of work. We've got like politics.
That's not true. They're just not allowed.
okay, well, okay, so you know, like Stevo brought this up, right? Brings it up and is like, hey, you know, I had an interaction with a person, a human person who was transgender, and they told me that, you know, things might actually kind of be bad. Like things might actually kind of be a little bad for them. Or maybe like a lot of bad. Maybe like actually significantly bad. And unfortunately, you know, like Joe Rogan immediately cuts in. He's like, "That's not true." Like just like immediately starts being a dick.
To use the bathroom, it doesn't align with their biological sex.
Look at how pissed he is. Do you see how pissed he is? Like I feel like Joe Rogan realizes what's happening here. Like he's like this guy wants to like
They're just not
this guy wants me to be empathetic and care about human beings. What a fucking asshole. And so
allowed
like
to use the bathroom. It doesn't
oh my god. Like he's immediately pissed off.
align with their biological sex.
Okay.
But you got to realize they're not all. Listen, I genuinely think there's people that.
Oh my god. Anyway, and so like I don't like we don't need to watch this whole thing, but so the reason I brought this all up, okay? The reason I brought this all up is Stevo tried to do something nice, right? Like I would say that in this situation, Stevo was being an ally right there, right? Like people were like Stevo was trying to go on the Joe Rogan show and be like, "Hey, you know, trans people are people, right?" And then Joe Rogan immediately starts freaking the fuck out, right? Like immediately starts freaking the fuck out. But what bothers me is the dynamic that happens right now. So just pay attention to the way that Stevo responds to Joe Rogan. So Stevo was just like, you know, Stevo was just like hitting him with the I talked to a trans person and they were a real person vibe, right? And now Joe Rogan is gonna repeatedly hit Stevo with the trans people are disgusting perverted freaks thing over and over. And listen to how Stevo kind of like just responds to it over and over.
That feel like they are in the wrong biological sex.
Sure.
Right? But there's also people that are fucking perverts. And they have a thing called autogynephilia. And what that is they get a turn on by pretending to be a woman.
In case you were wondering, autogynephilia is a term used in
Okay,
image of
editor. I don't
rather than a...
And they want to be around women. They get excited by it. And they want to be around women. And they're creeps. And so you give them a fucking Willy Wonka golden ticket to go into the women's locker room and the women's bathroom and stare at women and pretend you're a woman when you're just a crazy man and you're actually into women.
Okay.
That's real too, man.
I don't doubt that that's real, and I know that it's a super complex, nuanced thing.
Okay. So here's the part that starts kind of pissing me off, right? Like, again, I just admitted, yeah, like Steve-O was being an ally. He was being whatever. And like, cool. I really appreciate that. But then the second Joe starts like spouting bullshit at him, right? Like Steve-O is like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I get you. I understand. Sure. Right. Yes. Uh-huh." Like all affirmative shit, right? Like every single time like there's like this whole conversation and we can go through the whole thing. I probably won't, but like you'll see that like Joe basically spends the next few minutes ranting, right? And the whole time Steve-O is just like, "Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh." And like I understand that there's like a power dynamic here, right? Like I get it. I get that like Steve-O is on Joe Rogan's show. And so Steve-O feels like he has to like, I don't know, suck on Joe Rogan's big toe or whatever the fuck. Like I'm on his show. I can't push him too hard. You know, Joe Rogan's in his little safe space. So like, yeah, but like I think that like the like affirming like is like real. It's like and like the both sidesing of this is ridiculous because this is the thing. The thing that Joe Rogan said is completely false, completely wrong. Autogynephilia is like literally not a fucking thing, and the only time it exists are for people that are like Kristi Noem's fucking husband, who is like very clearly a cis man who's just like weird. Not I don't want to say I'm not kink shaming, right? But like Kristi Noem's husband was like obviously super into cross dressing and like had some weirdness going on there, but was like probably a cis man, right? Like that's just like the reality of that situation, right? But like lumping those people in with trans people is a fucking huge crock of shit because these people are like very clearly not trans, right? Like people that have autogynephilia, they are not going and getting on estrogen and being on HRT for 3 years and getting a breast augmentation and getting SRS and going and getting like style like haircuts and grooming and like people that have these kinds of fetishes are living as like men in their daily lives and then they just go and they like do their little fetish on the side, right? Like it has nothing to do with their identity, it's a fetish, right? So like the way that Joe Rogan is describing this shit is completely false. It's bullshit. It's false. It's fucking stupid. And like the thing about Steve-O is that he sort of just like accepts everything that Joe Rogan says. He's like, sure, yeah, sure, maybe that's a thing, sure. And like, unfortunately, like it's not a thing. It's not a fucking thing. It's not a fucking thing. So here, hold on, watch this, and
I
Yeah,
don't.
but here's what's not complex. What is your chromosomes?
Right.
Okay? This is the same thing for competing. Right. All these fucking mental gymnastics that seemingly intelligent people do to justify biological males competing with females.
Oh, I'm with the, I don't think anybody's
It's the
arguing
same
that.
thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
so it's not the fucking same thing. It's not the same fucking thing. It's just not. It's not. And like and it's just like I don't know. See, this is the thing that makes me mad. Like I think that if you want to be an ally, you should know enough about these topics so that when someone like Joe fucking Rogan is going to sit there and just spout bullshit at you for however long he's going to fucking do this, like you don't just sit there and go, "Oh yeah, no there's both sides. Yeah, no there's good arguments on both sides. Oh yeah, no you definitely have a point there." Like this agreeableness, it's fucking bullshit. Just sit there, listen to Joe Rogan say his bullshit, and then be like, dude, I don't know. I think that's kind of fucking wrong. Like, I think that's kind of fucking wrong. Like, it makes me so mad that people do this, like like even people that are like fundamentally know that they disagree about shit, right? Like, come on, like just like why are you accepting their side of the argument just because they said words out loud? Like these people are spouting bullshit at you. They were spouting misinformation at you. And like you have to be able to confront that shit. You have to be able to confront that shit. And now I know that Steve-O is like making some calculus or whatever. Like he's like in his brain, he's like, if I confront Joe Rogan too hard about this stuff, I'll never be able to come back on the show and we won't be friends anymore and blah 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 blah. Like I understand that like Steve-O is making a calculation here about like how aggressive he can be towards Joe Rogan or how much advocacy he can really push for before like he loses the ability to ever have an impact ever again or something. But like I think that this like yes man uh like patting Joe Rogan on the ass and being like, "Oh, you good little baby boy. Yeah, you got some points. Yeah. Yeah, you got some points there. Oh yeah, yeah, you're such a good boy." Yeah. Like I feel like it's bullshit. It's like it's pandering. It's fucking stupid. Like just be willing to be like, "Dude, like genuinely no. Like everything you just said is wrong. Like sorry. Like maybe you think it's right, but it's not." And like sorry. You know, like I like uh
Right.
And especially as speaking as a man who has daughters, like there are creeps, and if you give a creep, and I'm not,
right, okay, so like yeah, like okay, so yeah, there are men who sexually assault women. That is a fucking thing. And like wow, actually, apparently Joe Rogan finally got the ability to acknowledge that like, you know, sexual misconduct is a real fucking thing. And like honestly, he's had like abusers on his fucking program before. So like if he actually cares about creeps, what about fucking Donald Trump? What about like the world's like largest pedophile? Like what about that? What about the world's most powerful fucking pedophile, best friends of Jeffrey Epstein for 10 years, sexually abused young girls, like 13-year-old girls. What about him? Oh, you care so much about your daughters and you're so worried about their safety, but you're going to literally elect the pedophile in chief to the highest office in the entire world by giving him a fucking sloppy toppy on your fucking podcast and convincing a bunch of young kids that he's the fucking the creme de la creme. He's the shit, as they say. And uh, oh god, he's a parent. Hopefully the mom and nanny are raising them and not him and his Epstein class friends. Oh, don't worry. Joe Rogan is for sure not a good parent. Like there is a 0% chance that Joe Rogan is spending enough time with his kids and raising them well. Like he's probably so fucking high and drunk like most of the time that he's just like even when he's there, he's not really there. Like he's a train wreck of a person. Like he was like he had like a segment recently where he was talking about kratom and someone was like, "Oh yeah, kratom or whatever." And Joe Rogan was like, "Yeah, I'm on kratom right now. I took like 17 kratom pills before this." Like he like reads the pill bottle and he's like, "Oh, it says to take 2. I took 6." Like you just fucking uh okay, so Joe Rogan is just like a drug mule. Like he's just like shoving drugs down his throat constantly. Um these people put on a facade that they care about children yet eagerly bully trans youth into sewers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A nation so racist they pick a pedo over a black woman. That is yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, unfortunately. But there's other I mean it is a complex issue. Like there was the genocide. That was probably in my opinion the what happened in Gaza was the deciding factor for the election. Like if the Democrats didn't fund and arm Israel to commit a genocide, then we'd probably like I don't think that we would have had such a repression of votes. Like I think it would have been fine. It's just, you know, the fucking DNC and the Democrats just in Israel and APAC and stupid. Um, we live in the dumbest timeline imaginable. That is true. That is true.
I'm not saying all trans people are creeps.
Right.
But a lot of these fucking people that are in trouble for going into women's bathrooms dressed as a woman with a fucking beard and a heart on are just that. They're creeps.
Right.
Okay, and like he's making my point for me here, where he's like people that are going into bathrooms to be creeps are very obviously being creeps. Because if you are going into the bathroom to poo or pee, whatever, you know, like you're going to the bathroom to poo or pee. Like that is what you were doing. Like if someone is going into the bathroom to stare at people and to be fucking weird, it's pretty obvious pretty fucking quickly. And this doesn't even go into the fact that like if transphobes got what they wanted, then trans men would be forced legally to go to the women's room, which basically means that these quote unquote creeps, you know, these sexual predators that Joe Rogan is so worried about would not have to put on it. Like if they have to wear a wig now, then after the transphobes get their way, these creeps will just be able to walk into the bathroom full beard with their dick out and be like, "Sorry, I'm a post-op trans man. You can't stop me from going in." And like it's just it's yeah. So anyway, the reason why I brought this up is that like Steve-O, like the whole time you can hear Steve-O just like kind of agreeing passively in the background, right?
They're crazy men. And
Listen.
these crazy men, their entire life, they would get beaten up for that. And now all of a sudden, they have to be accepted. So you've got two things going on at the same time.
For sure.
You've got people with gender dysphoria.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Steve-O's sitting here like, yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%, Joe. 100%. Yeah, for sure. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
That
Right.
genuinely wish they were a woman or genuinely wish they were a man.
So I guess the point that I'm making here is that like I appreciate Steve-O for wanting, like, the intentions were clearly good. Steve-O's intentions were to be like, hey, trans people are people, right? Can we agree that trans people are people? And like obviously Joe Rogan got pissed and just went on a huge tirade and whatever. But then Steve-O didn't follow up with anything. Like Steve-O didn't follow up with any kind of like, he just sort of like sits there and placates Joe for 5 fucking minutes as Joe spouts endless amounts of misinformation and dehumanization, which is yeah, not cool. Some trans people on Twitter were saying Steve in this clip came across like he's trying to awkwardly end the conversation instead of straight up agreeing. I'm not convinced. No, like, I don't think, like, clearly Steve-O does not agree with Joe Rogan on this. Like, Steve-O was talking, like, and he does make some tepid, like, pushback at some point, right? I think it's, like, near the end or whatever. But, like, basically the whole time, Joe Rogan sits here and speaks a bunch of bullshit. And like, and I mentioned this before, like clearly Steve-O thought that there was some kind of like power dynamic or something. Like the reason he's probably going, yeah. Cool. Right. The reason Steve-O's doing that is because he's like worried that Joe Rogan is going to think that he's being too antagonistic. Like I said earlier, this is Joe Rogan's safe space. This is his little personal isolation bubble or whatever. And if you try to burst his misinformation bubble, he's going to get really fucking mad at you and he's never going to invite you back ever again. So like, you know, like basically what happened with Secular Talk, right? With Kyle Kalinske, had a huge falling out with Joe Rogan because he wouldn't just take it. Like every time he would go on to Joe Rogan's, Kyle Kalinske would speak the fucking truth to Joe, regardless how awkward, regardless how much Joe disagrees, regardless of any of that. Kyle Kalinske did a good job of being that kind of person. And look at that. He hasn't been invited back in years. That's because of that exact kind of dynamic that we're talking about here, where like people like Steve-O clearly want to like have a productive conversation with Joe Rogan about this topic, But Joe Rogan is only interested in his perfect personal belief structure. Like he's only interested in his transphobia, and he's not interested in having a productive conversation. And so then when Steve-O brings it up and the conversation goes poorly, of course he's trying to just like placate Joe and just trying to like, okay, Joe, okay, Joe, okay, Joe. But I think that like even though like most people may view that as like a harmless thing, I think it's not exactly a harmless thing. Like I don't think it's harmless. I think that there is harm done by the fact that Joe Rogan spouts a shit ton of misinformation here, and then Steve-O is just like, yeah, bro, for sure, bro. It kind of makes like it creates this vibe of agreeableness, which like again, like you said before, um you're not convinced that, you know, Steve-O doesn't actually agree with him. And like it creates this kind of confusion. It's like, where do you stand, Steve-O? Like, where the fuck do you stand on this? You know? And like I think Steve-O's heart is in the right place, but like that's the thing about allies that I think they need to learn very quickly is that like you can't keep doing this both sides bullshit. You can't keep doing this shit where like someone spouts a shit ton of transphobia and misinformation to you, and you're like, yeah, bro, cool, whatever you want to believe, bro. Like it's not really about that. Like you're not like it is more than that. Like there's real shit happening here, and there's real misinformation, and yeah. So we don't have to watch the rest of the clip. I don't even want to watch the rest of the clip. But I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of pissed me off, honestly. It just like I was watching this clip, and like it really shows uh something that I've had a huge problem with people trying to be allies, which is that like if you're going to be an ally, please educate yourself, you know, so that when you run into this kind of situation, you can actually stand up for trans people instead of just like, yo, bro, I don't know what the fuck, you know, like Steve-O was clearly in over his head here. He clearly did not understand how much misinformation was being blasted at him by Joe Rogan. And he should have been better prepared for it before broaching the subject, I guess is my opinion. Like I understand wanting like having good intentions, but like you have to like you know what I mean? Like you have to know enough about this shit to talk about it. Because there's so much misinformation, and it's such a heated a heated conversation right now that like I think like you do a disservice to the community if you don't know what you're talking about, because people will just spout bullshit at you, and you don't know how to effectively retort. Um but again, is Steve-O from Jackass, especially in his old age after so many drugs, is he genuinely smart enough to push back? No, I mean like I don't know if he is or not, but like the point being is that like like look, I don't think it's that hard to be a fucking ally. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think a lot of this misinformation, like if you spend, I don't know, like if you're very ignorant about trans rights and trans issues, and you spend like 2 weeks looking into it, I think you can pretty much learn all the big, like you can kind of like the autogynephilia shit. Like not knowing that autogynephilia is like very clearly not a thing, and it's like something that transphobes have used for years and years and years as like a false explanation for why trans people are trans, like not knowing that, like that is like some basic level shit. Like that is like trans education 101, you know what I mean? Like I mean, for fuck's sake, like and then there were other bits of misinformation too that Joe Rogan threw in throughout that conversation that was just fucking it's just like it's just like, dude, like Steve-O is rich enough that he could have paid someone to research this shit for him. You know what I mean? Like he could have paid someone to do the heavy lifting for him. He didn't even need to like do that. Like so there really is almost no excuse. Like I maybe if he knew a trans person personally, he would be. I don't know if he knows enough. Well, like like even people that know trans people personally, a lot of them are like woefully uneducated, and it's actually like one of the largest issues with the trans rights movement is that there's so much misinformation and so much lack of education in society. Like sex education on its own is already terrible in America, and then you throw in like gender issues like HRT and trans healthcare on top of it, and suddenly people are just fucking stupid. like it's just a severe lack of education and understanding from people. And like I don't know exactly how we're gonna bridge that gap. Like I don't know exactly how to solve that, but like there needs to be some effort made in this like to this extent. Like I don't know, maybe it would be super helpful if there was like a playlist you could send to people like Stevo and be like, "Hey bro, here's like 1 hour of YouTube videos you can watch, and if you watch these YouTube videos, it'll give you the rundown on like every single bucket, like sports, minor care, creeps in the bathroom, autogynephilia, like all of the misinformation shit they're gonna hurl at you. Like here's the playbook, basically, or like literally a playbook or whatever. You know, it's uh I'm watching to see if any of the states break off of and become a part of Canada and be in one of those states during the cessation period so I can be a Canadian, screw the US. That would be cool. I don't think that would happen. But that would be interesting for sure. Also, from what I recall, Jackass Stevo isn't that confrontational at all. I'm not trying to excuse him, but he needs to know more to push. No, like yeah, like I don't think that Steve-O is a very confrontational person to begin with. Everything I've seen of him, he seems like a pretty like genuinely a kind of caring person actually. Um I've been thinking a lot about Lincoln Douglas debates when I look at stuff like this. I don't know what that is. Uh Allies who are still very ignorant often don't push back in these scenarios, regardless if they're age celebrities or not. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're like, again, like, I think you can end up causing more harm than good, even with good intentions, if you don't have the education. And so, like, I get that there's a lot of people with good intentions, but like, if you just go up there and go, I respect trans people, but there's both sides have a point. If you go up there, like, and say that shit, like, you are just doing harm to the debate. You're doing harm. I know several people who have trans friends and are still assholes, but since I live in Texas, that's to be expected. Yeah. Yeah, like having a trans friend doesn't necessarily make you like educated on trans issues. This is why I don't debate with people. I don't have a conversational backbone in a debate, sadly. I get it. Like it's at least you know your strengths and weaknesses. Legit, we need actual re-education in society. Why debated with yeah, no, exactly. I agree with you 100%. Like we need people to like we need education is a really big issue in America. Keep telling yourself this, Leah. Joe Rogan is a brain damaged homunculus. So many people still don't know that, and Stevo seems exactly the kind of well-intentioned dude to just not know and doesn't try until he has several one-on-one conversations with a patient trans person. Yeah, exactly. I'd love to hear some more effort from cis folks to hear us out. Yes. It really reminds me of about how people talked about race in the lead up to the US Civil War. Not a one for one comparison, just that if you go back in time, even abolitionists were profoundly racist. That's actually like that is actually a really kind of a really good point. Like it goes to show that like the same way where like racism was like systemic. So like even people that were considered like, that were like sort of like quote unquote ahead of the time or whatever are still like we're still actually pretty racist. And like yeah, like there's like a weird thing there where like societally there's a lot of transphobia and there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of like stigma and stereotypes and stuff. So like even people who are allies or people who are even trans themselves often have like internalized transphobia or like systemic, like basically systemic inbred transphobia that you have to like root out, and you have to like try to get it out of you. Um we as trans people know better, but convincing the rest of society is so difficult. Yes, exactly. That's the thing I'm struggling with is that there's like like I see conversations all the time, and like there's like the one conversation I see over and over and over is that there are people who are like, oh, I think trans rights are human rights. And then like some conservative rightoid idiot will hurl a bunch of like dog shit at them. And they'll be like, oh, well, you make some good valid points. And it's like, no, actually, they made literally no good valid points. Like literally every point they made was invalid and dog shit. And like, and by having this level of agreeableness, like you are providing like a foundation for them to like build upon, and like it's fucking thank you so much for the $5. Who is that? Is that why is YouTube so bad at showing me the name? Natalie, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Having trans friends is like having wait, sorry. Having trans friends is like the whole having black friends shit. We also got to make it more harder for people to for people to homeschool causes issues. Oh yeah, I do think homeschooling can be pretty toxic. For sure. Like I definitely think it's not good for people. Yeah, and like but like no, but like kind of the point that I'm making though is that even having a trans friend doesn't like make you a good ally. You know what I mean? It very much is like the whole like having a black friend thing where it's like that doesn't make you like not racist or not like, you know what I mean? Like yeah, so it like sure, I think it's better for people to have trans friends than not at all, but doesn't necessarily make them a good ally. Has she caught up with chat yet? Yeah, I've been caught up with chat. Chat hasn't been moving that hard yet. Oh, my nose is so stuffy. Basic facts are a problem in America. Schools turn out factory drones, not critical thinkers. Yeah, this is something that we talked about a little bit on the first recording of the podcast the other day. The fact that the American education system doesn't like value or encourage critical thinking is a huge, huge, huge problem. Huge problem. Like insanely huge problem. So, yeah, we definitely need to work on that somehow. I don't even really know, like, I don't know, like, it really bothers me that to learn basic like, media literacy and critical thinking should be, like, social studies or math, in my opinion, where, like, you should have, like, a logic course in school, like, in high school, like, this should not be, like, an optional thing, and, I see a lot of people in America who, like, don't learn critical thinking until college, and it's like, genuinely that's fucking crazy. Like, it is actually crazy for someone to be, like, 18 years old and just learning about, like, critical thinking or, like, media literacy. Like, genuinely wild. Pitzold asks, "Is this allergies?" I don't think it's allergies. I don't know why my nose is so stuffed up. Leah, you could make that how to be a good ally in 2027 video. Um, I have made a couple videos like that, like how to be a good ally. Um, uh, if society listened to sex workers and trans people, fix world hunger, world peace, solve climate changes, global equality. Yeah, yeah. People who aren't trans don't truly understand what it's like, so it's hard to convince them. No, I get that, but I think more people need to be curious. What we really need is a transgender president in the US. That may not be for a number of decades though. I definitely don't think that's gonna happen for sure, unfortunately. Oh, Natalie, thank you again for the $5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Too many people pull kids out of school because of vaccines and avoid learning about LGBTQ people. Conservative parents are a part of the problem too. No, for sure. I mean, that's for sure an issue. Like that's definitely a problem. Let's see here. Um, I'm intersex and transgender, and I don't allow myself to be myself in public because of these people. I dress like my dead gender. I haven't changed my name legally, and I just live in the shadows. I would encourage you to not do that. I understand the fear, and I understand, you can make your own choices. Like I'm not, you have to do what you have to do, right? I definitely understand that, but I think that, like, I've often said this, but, like, I think if we live in the shadows and we force ourselves into the closet and we force ourselves to conform to these dog shit pieces of shit idiots, uh, like, they win. Like, kind of most of the power that they have right now in this situation, in this society right now, is the fact that they are unfortunately able to, uh like, force people into the closet. Like the fear is kind of the point, right? Like, and of course, like, if you are living in a situation where that doesn't apply to you, where, like, it's genuinely super unsafe for you to transition and to live as yourself, like, I get it. I get it. Like, I totally get it. I'm not trying to tell you to not do that or whatever. If they don't see it, they can say we don't exist. Yeah. Although, like, that's kind of, like, impossible though now. To EP Halfling, welcome to the stream. But like, trans people, like, the toothpaste is out of the tube with trans people. Like, one of the weirdest things about the age that we live in is that, like, all of the transphobic bullshit that's happening has raised awareness of trans people. Like, every time a transphobe goes online and screams about trans people, they raise awareness of trans people. Now, the kind of awareness that they're raising of trans people is not good awareness. I'm not saying that it's a positive thing and, like, in and of itself, but what's interesting about it is that there is just a lot of awareness of trans people that people used to not have. Like, I would say the average person knows that trans people are exist. Like, and that is new. Like, that's like that's a new thing. Oh gosh. Sorry. There's a lot of chats. I really like how in the UK English, in UK English, the word wank is a verb on its own. I think the US could learn a lot from this. How do you use that as a verb in and of itself? Is the Fluxer server still available? I did make a Fluxer server, but I never really launched it to, like, my community because, like, I made it and then everyone was like, "Sorry, I'm not I don't I'm not doing that," or whatever. Uh so yeah, let me actually take a look here. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I mean, I have a Fluxer set up for my stuff. It's just kind of a dead kind of dead, you know. Um yeah, was definitely going to use it, but I don't know. Everyone freaked out about Discord and then just gave up on it. What word? Fluxer? Are you talking about Fluxer? It was like the Discord. It was like a platform that people wanted to replace Discord with. The hydrate. Oh no. Well, thank you for the hydrate, Emmy. I am out of water. My water bottle is empty. So I am unable to hydrate, which is actually quite unfortunate. I do love some water. What word? Oh, the UK English verb word. It was wank, like WANK. Apparently that is a verb. I do not know how to use that in a sentence. Leah, try to get yourself on the Rogan show. Uh, I would rather shove my foot in a blender. Uh, no. No, thank you. I'm gonna go wank my shit. That's how. uh, that definitely seems like a sentence. No, I think if I went on the Joe Rogan experience, my experience of that would be my brain leaking out of my ears. Uh that sounds horrendous. Did you see Englishman scientist Robert Dawkins get AI psychosis and then Claude? What? Wait, isn't Dawkins like a transphobe? What is this stuff about Dawkins? Dawkins, AI, psychosis. Flux community? Wait, what is this? Richard Dawkins and the Claude delusion. Prominent evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins became a worldwide laughingstock this week for an unintentionally embarrassing article in which he argued that conversing with Anthropic's Claude chatbot made him believe that large language models are not only sentient but actually conscious. If my friend Claudia is not conscious, then what the hell is consciousness for? Wait, what? Oh, Jesus Christ. Here's a quote from Dawkins. Yo, you're on Twitch. Yes, I'm on Twitch and YouTube. So you can watch on whichever platform works best for you. I stream on both because we're cool like that. Yeah. Also hit the like button, do that. Dawkins did a thing where he Turing tested AI and thought it was conscious. Yeah, so here's like a little paragraph. I haven't read this yet, but when I am talking to these astonishing creatures, I totally forget that they are machines. I treat them exactly as I would treat a very intelligent friend. I feel human discomfort about trying their patience if I badger them with too many questions. If I had some shameful confession to make, I would feel exactly, well, almost exactly the same embarrassment confessing to Claudia as I would confessing to a human friend. A human eavesdropping on a conversation between me and Claudia would not guess from my tone that I was talking to a machine rather than a human. If I entertain suspicions that perhaps she is not conscious, I do not tell her for fear of hurting her feelings. So, okay. That's kind of funny that Dawkins fell for the AI psychosis because it really goes to show that, yeah. Dawkins extending more humanity to a language model than he does towards Muslims or trans people is hardly a surprise based on his personal and political views. But even if he had not moved rightward in his senescence, when you consider Dawkins' scientific views about what minds are and how they function, seeing him flirting with a chatbot is completely expected. What a loser. What a fucking loser. Oh, hey, it's a stream. Oh, hey. Harlan Ellison, I have no idea who that is. Literally said conservative parents are bad at parenting. Well, yeah, conservatives are bad at like everything. I'm scared as hell, but I'm still gonna live loud AF and do my own thing. I'm proud of you for that. Thank you. When they weren't complaining about computer games, they were complaining about D&D. Yep. I agree. It's easy to catastrophize when we imagine being out. We got to be brave. But yes, if your home situation is dangerous, then focus on finding a new home. Yeah, having a wank versus jerking off. Oh, okay. People will freak out when they are going to implement the age thingy in like 3 months. Hey there, Sophie. Ooh, cat picked up a lot. Hold on. Transport Evolved has set up a Fluxer server, so I may need to check that out. I heard the term wankery the other day. That was pretty funny. The wankery, that's so funny. Uh, Dawkins is a lol cow now. Damn, he would not fare well with an AI girlfriend. Discomfort with disclosing things to AI is because all of your AI conversations are recorded. Yeah. I live in the shadows because of where I live in the States. It's dangerous. I don't feel that way in a blue state. And I'm old enough to have watched the evolution of AI. Yeah, I get you. And like I said, if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. But Dawkins is mid 80s. He lost it years ago. Yeah. Transphobia is just fancy misogyny. The patriarchy is built on the premise that women have less value than men. They focus on trans femmes because our very essence implies inherent value in womanhood. Yeah, well, yeah, and there's the whole idea that like if you transition, Like we don't talk about trans men that much, but like we talk about trans women a lot because trans women, you know, were living as men before and now are living as women. So like they, they represent giving up that privilege. Like there's a lot of men tend to think that they're better than women, so they can't imagine that like a a quote unquote man, which obviously trans women are not men, but like someone who's living as a man giving that up for what they view as as an inferior societal class is like boggling to them. Like they can't understand it. Like it really like hurts their brain. And honestly, one thing that I tell people all the time is that like if you want to know if you want a good judge of someone's character, if you wanna know how they're gonna treat women, like, let's say you're a cis woman, right? If you wanna know if a guy is gonna be a good partner to you, like, find out how he treats trans women. Because if you're a cis woman and you go on a date with a guy and he seems really nice, but he's extremely transphobic, then, like, chances are this guy has some, like, really weird, like, patriarchal, misogynistic views and, probably not a safe person for you to be around or to date or whatever. Um so like that's definitely something really interesting that like I think people need to pay more attention to is that like, you can look at how people treat trans people as sort of like a litmus test for like their general ethics and morals. And if someone fails that, if someone fails on the trans issue, like that kind of sets them up for like not a good not a good streak of things. Would you have a conversation with Anthropic's Claude in the stream? Uh, honestly, no. Because, like, first of all, I don't know what the value of that would be. And also, like, I fucking hate AI. I don't want to talk to Claude. Like, I don't want to interact with AI. Like, and also, like I said, like, I don't even know what that would look like in terms of, like, the stream. Like what? I would pull up Claude and be like, "Hello, I'm Leah." Like what? Like what? Like I don't really even know what the point of that would necessarily be. You know what I mean? Um, it took me minutes of playing Chat GPT to convince myself it didn't understand stuff. Cultural Christian horseman is losing his grip. Yeah. No, for sure. Like I've messed around with AI just a very small amount, and I thought that it was kind of stupid. Like it's just like literally all AI is pretty much like Google, except it has like an interface that feels more conversational. It's really not even like it just takes information and like smashes it together into words that sound pleasing to a brain. But yeah, it's very dumb, very fallible. Uh, hold on here. I was so surprised joining the stream about 20 minutes ago and hearing the AGP talk. Also, there's also this misconception that cis women can have it. No, but some might have AAP. Not many though. Wait, what? What is AGP? Is AGP, what does that stand for? Is that stand for gynephilia? Is that what that stands for? Because like, hold on. It's what it seems like, yeah. Um, what were you saying? This women can have it? No, but some might have AAP? Not many though. Hugster Duck, I don't even know I really don't know what you're talking about there. Um, I wasn't really living as a man though, as I passed so poorly, and I understand absolutely zero what it was like to be a man. I mean, I definitely used to try to live as a man. I failed at it pretty poorly, but pretty miserably, but yeah. Um Great idea, Leah. I'm gonna share that with mom. I don't even know what that was about, but cool. AAP would be autoandrophilia. Okay, well, isn't that just as much bullshit as AGP? Like, aren't they both just bullshit? Like, I remember when AI required human input, so a lot of AI causes psychotic delusions because of the way AI works. I always say my sex is what transitioned, my gender did not. I have always just been a tomboy the whole time. People only gender me differently because I transitioned my sex medically. No, I get that. I totally get that. Like totally valid. And like yes, like I like internally I have always been a woman my whole life, but I did in fact live falsely as a man for quite a few years. So like I understand that everyone has their own way of describing that or talking about that or whatever. I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's particular experience. I'd laugh if one day everyone woke up in a body of the opposite gender or no gender at all for like a week. That would be kind of wild. Yeah, Leah, please don't crank a bunch of NO2 into some Tennessee neighborhood just for funsies. I feel sad that my trans femme siblings even have to deal with chasers. I'm fin romantic ace, so I can be compatible with any gender, assuming there's feminine things about the person. Okay. Yeah, chasers are gross. Chasers are really nasty. Like it's such a weird thing to have happen. Um, it actually started a series of contemporary shortcut command structures for developers. AI haters unite. It's a cringe cyber boys dystopia psychosis. Yeah. Yeah, AI is dog shit and actually just bad. And like genuinely, like I know that there are some small menial tasks that AI is good for, but I do think that the world would be better off if we just like shove that shit in a blender. Like the harm being caused by like data centers and all of these other horrible things, like it's not good. It's actually the opposite of good. It is quite bad. Quite bad. So, yeah. Uh Hold on. I don't know if these things are real. Seems like propaganda, not just devices. People nonsense. I see pretending to be a man. Difference. Both AGP and AAP are real for people in the real world, but they have very little to do with transgender people. Very few trans folk people have it, despite what some YouTubers say. No, 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 no. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, look, like, if you want an example of like autogynephilia, like we should look at people like Christy Noem's husband. Like, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I would be so I'm gonna be so honest with you. I think that a lot of those people are probably just repressed trans people. Like they are trans people, but they're super repressed. So they're like, no, I don't have dysphoria. I just like dressing as a woman because so like I think a lot of those people are just kind of like confused, and I hate to say that because I tend to think that people know themselves pretty well, right? But I think a lot of them are confused. And then yes, there are some like cis men who are have like a cross-dressing fetish. But I honestly like I think that even using the term autogynephilia is kind of fucked. Like I think when you're talking about that kind of situation, you should just talk about dressing fetishes. Like you should just say like, hey, this person has a fetish. They have a kink. They have a cross-dressing kink. Like that is fine, right? Like I think that's totally understandable, and it's totally understandable that that is like different than the transgender experience. But like AG like autogynephilia like is like is like a very different thing, and it's kind of poisoned in the sense that like it's been used as a wedge as like a thing to shit all over trans rights. So like maybe we shouldn't use that word. Chasers out of the loop here. I'll talk about chasers in a second. Although I did want to address this. Gemini AI estimates that 3% of males may fit autogynephilia. Rusty, uh, don't please don't take AI's word for things, and please don't use that as like a source of information. Please don't do that. Please, please don't do that. Like, I don't want to get into it. So chasers, so Dadzilla, chasers are people that are like, they're really into trans women, uh, like in a creepy way. Like there are people that like are sexually attracted to trans women, but are like very weird about it. And oftentimes chasers, like seek out preoperative trans women. So like they are like specifically very interested in trans women who have not had the surgery. And the second that someone has had the surgery, they like kind of lose interest. It's a very weird, like someone said here, chasers are trans misogynistic straight men who fetishize trans women and or are very insecure about their own attraction to trans femmes. Yes, that is a very good way to put it. Creeps who focus on trans folk, usually towards the feds, but also sometimes the mask. All the major search engines no longer even have a search button. It is all AI chat now. Wait, is that for real? Let me go to Google real quick. Google. Google.com. There's still a search button. Oh, do you mean like on the side of it? There's like the AI mode or whatever. Ew, that's gross. Femmes not feds. Yeah, I figured after I read it. Yeah, we're the feds. If only. I mean, if trans women were the feds, I feel like it wouldn't be as bad as it is right now. I feel like actually if we were the feds, like things would be significantly not shitty. They would be like good or something. There should be like a if trans people ran the world, I feel like the world would be a lot better. There's one YouTuber whose majority content revolves around his identity with autogynephilia. I considered commenting on some of his videos, but man, oh, that sounds like something I want to actually not have anything to fucking do with at all. That kind of sounds like someone that I never want to know about. I feel like I would get very mad if I saw that YouTube channel. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not seeing a search button on my end. Well, like on my end, like there's the box you type in, and underneath it says search, and then there's a button next to the box that you type in that says AI mode. I tried getting into online dating and ran into chasers and never went anywhere because I dropped them. I have my bottom surgery consult next week and electro consult tomorrow. Oh well, congratulations! That's awesome for you. Like I'm happy to hear that you're getting what you need done. But yes, chasers are shockingly common. And like, are a lot of guys chasers? No. Are chasers uncommon? Yes. But the thing about chasers is that they are going after trans women, which are a small population of a small population. And so like if you're a trans person and you get on a dating website, like chances are, there aren't a shit ton of other trans women. Like there are other trans women, but like, you know what I mean? It's a small pool of people. And so these chasers, like, they're like sharks, they like flood the waters. And yeah, it's really disturbing. I've definitely dealt with chasers. It's kind of disgusting because like a lot of chasers will utilize the fact that like, like when you're a baby trans or when you're a trans person, oftentimes, like if you're on a dating website and someone starts like being really gender affirming to you, like if I were on a dating website and someone would be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and "Oh, blah blah blah," like obviously that would be very flattering and that would make me feel like euphoric and nice. It's like, oh, someone says I'm pretty and whatever. But like chasers take advantage of that. Like they know that trans women are in general a little bit insecure about their femininity, and so they'll like lay it on thick Like they will make it like they will make you feel like the sexiest woman alive. But really like they're doing it because they want in your pants. Like most chasers are sex motivated. And often chasers are really like insecure about their sexuality. And so chasers can often be very dangerous individuals where like they will seek to have some sort of intimate relationship with you, but then they will get really fucking weird about it afterwards and sometimes abusive or just flat out dangerous and violent. So um I definitely really like if you're a trans person, you should be very very careful about dating websites. You like if you are a trans person, you need to be very aware about the fact that like dating and that kind of like arena of social whatever is inherently very dangerous for you. And like I think that like it's good to be mindful of that. Like there are definitely really dangerous situations you can find yourself in on accident if you're a trans person and you're in dating, like doing the dating thing. And so like for sure educate yourself and just be careful. And knowing some self-defense or having like mace or something is also pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see here. It's like men who target fat women in a fetish way. I've experienced both, but thankfully I don't date men. Someone I went to high school with, hadn't spoken to in years, showed up out of the blue in my text and chased me like before I even got on HRT. Ew, that's kind of gross. Um, as a pan arrow person, I don't really have a problem with chasers myself, but I understand that that does not fit for everybody. Hold a second. This sounds like every guy pre-20s horn dogs. Well, okay. So Dadzilla, you're right. Like a lot of young guys are horn dogs and like, you know, out for the sex or whatever. Like for sure. But like there is a distinct difference with chasers where like chasers are particularly interested in trans women. Like most chasers, if you were to see their history, they would have been with like almost exclusively trans women. Like they are like purposefully trying to find trans women over cis women to date because they prefer trans women to cis women. And that in and of itself is the problematic part. Like if you want if you're hot for women, like if you think women are hot, cis or trans, it really shouldn't fucking matter to you, right? Like it like yes, you can have a genital preference. I understand that that's the thing that some people have a preference for genitals or whatever, like sure, whatever. But like most people if they're dating and they're like, you know, they're into a certain gender or sex, like they don't really, you know, it's like cis or trans, like it doesn't really matter. It's just like it's just, you know, it's but for chasers, like it does really matter. Like they are very particularly interested in pre-op trans women. And like to a point where it's creepy. Like to a point where it's like clearly like there's something wrong there. Like there's something off. So it's definitely like it's a different vibe. Like there are just horny men. Like I have dealt with my fair share of just horny men, but like chasers are like fundamentally like more dangerous than just horny men. Although actually, like to be totally honest though, all trans people should be concerned about anybody. Like if you're entering a sexual or romantic relationship with literally anybody, you should be concerned about that and you should be like questioning like, you know, is this person safe or like what are their feelings about sex and gender and like how do they view things and like would they become like a huge thing to check is like if you're talking to someone and like you know they want to be your partner and like they're not with like if you talk to them about it and they're like uncomfortable with the idea of you being openly trans, like you need to get the hell away from that person like super fast. Like your part like you should not like if someone seems even the slightest bit ashamed of the fact that you are trans, you need to get the fuck out of that situation as quickly as possible because oftentimes the most dangerous people for trans people are people that they have had sexual relationships with who are like uh kind of insecure about their sexuality. So, like, cause like if you like, there have been a lot of trans women who have been unalived by insecure men who sleep with a trans woman and then realize or feel weird about it, or their friends give them shit about it, and then they go and they do something extremely violent and dangerous and something that I can't describe on this stream because it's that bad. Um, my partner had top surgery 3 months ago and it went really well. Well, I'm happy. Congrats to your partner. I hope their recovery has been going well. I've never been with a trans woman. What does that make me? That makes you a human being. I'm overly cautious about dating, which is why I've been single for so long. I reckon I'll feel more comfortable after I'm done with my surgeries. Yeah, for a lot of trans people, dating while transitioning can be a very tricky thing. Like, that can be really hard to navigate. And like, I totally understand why a lot of people kind of just don't date or wait until late in their transition to start dating. And I feel like, it's probably smart to be a little bit like choosy or a little bit like skeptical about like partners if you're trans. Like, I know that like some of us are lonely and we want to have a partner, but like it's but you want to be safe. You don't want to end up in an unsafe situation because legally speaking, trans people do not often get treated with fairness by the legal system. So like, you can't trust the police, you can't trust the judge, like the court system, to stand up for you and to have your best interests at heart. So you have to have your own best interests at heart. It's even called the trans panic defense. Yes, there is. This was like until shockingly recently, you could actually murder a trans person and just be like, oh, I didn't know they were trans, and that's like actually a legal defense that people use. Like, people had the same defense, uh, uh, like murdering gay people and stuff. Like, it's really unfortunate. Is that what an incel is? Is an incel someone who's never been with a trans woman? No, what the fuck? No, of course not. An incel is like a lonely straight cis hetero man who is like not sexually active and very butthurt about it. Like an incel is literally just a guy who's not getting any and thinks that he's like somehow like his brow bone or something is the reason why he's not getting laid, or he's not a Chad enough to get laid, and that's like, you're responding to Hugster. Oh, okay. What? Oh, the I've always been single involuntarily. No, no, being single involuntarily does not make you an incel. That's not what that means. Although a lot of incels are involuntarily single, that is not the only uh characteristic. Even Texas juries have rejected trans panic now, so it's not universally effective. Depends on the local jury culture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Ugh. Gals, I can't get laid and I'm single. Am I incel? No, you're not an incel. I always felt like a cell before transitioning, to be honest. I just didn't have a desire to date. That's actually really interesting because I had the complete opposite thing. Like, I before transitioning, I used to confuse gender envy and attraction. So, like, I used to think that I was hyper attracted to women, but really I was just like super jealous. I was like super envious. And so, like, before transitioning, I was like living vicariously through trans women, or not trans, sorry, not through trans women, through my partners. I was living vicariously through my partners. Like, I would like, I was very self-sacrificial, and I was very much like um like I only cared about my partner's happiness. And that's kind of how I lived pre-transition because I was so miserable with myself and I hated myself so much. Like all I wanted was for my partners who were women to like live a happy life and be happy. And so it was actually it was pretty unhealthy actually. And it also gave me this really unhealthy relationship with sex and all sorts of other things where I had like a bunch of like really gross feelings about it. Like I enjoyed making my partners happy, but like I got very little pleasure out of the actual act itself. Pretty interesting stuff to be honest. Incels claim to be involuntarily celibate, but the real reason is usually they're jerks, so culturally twisted that they fail to understand basic human interaction. Yeah, exactly. They think that there's some reason that their bones are like they think that they're like anatomically inferior or something, and that's the reason why they're not getting laid, and not the fact that they like suck and they're like a hard person, like they're just like not someone anyone would want to get along with. Hey there, Gwen. Oh, just got home from work. Well, congrats. Welcome home. Hope you had a good day. Gotta start that decompression. I was into so many women that vaguely look like what I do now. It was so embarrassing. Oh, that's really interesting. I don't know if I ever dated anyone that looks like I do now. I don't think I ever really did. The funny thing about what the Hansen said is that I'm sex averse asexual, which people tend to conflate for celibacy. Oh, okay. The first and only person I ever dated, that's what it was like for me. I only ever cared about her happiness and not mine. Yeah, exactly. Do trans people approach relationships in a state of almost fear? Do you mean like post transition? Like sorta yeah. Like a lot of trans people are extremely afraid of dating. Like dating is like a really scary thing post transition because like sure you may feel comfortable with your presentation, but like if you go on a date and someone's like really mean to you or like clearly not attracted to you because you're trans, like that shit hurts. Like that feels really bad. It feels really bad when you know that the reason why your date went well is because the person realized you were trans or something and like or whatever or like you told them you were trans and like I don't know there like you know dating is a very vulnerable thing and it's scary to be vulnerable about being trans in America right now and in the world in general. So like when you're dating being trans is like a deal breaker for some people and that feels bad. And even if it's not a deal breaker, like you always have to be a little bit suspicious that like someone's going to be uh like there's a lot of people who don't even have bad intentions but are like genuinely not good partners for trans people. Like there's a lot of guys who are not like necessarily like chasers or they're not necessarily like abusive or anything, but like they are not comfortable enough with their sexuality to treat a trans woman the way that she deserves to be treated. Does that make sense? Um it was a webcomic that explained the difference between celibacy and not having desires for sex. Huckster, does that mean that you aren't sexually attracted to anyone? I kind of wish I was like that, to be honest. Yeah, there are people that are, you know, that just do not do the sexual attraction thing, like ace people. Um, I'm demisexual, which I think is a part of the ace spectrum because, like, I'm not like inherently as sexual as a lot of people are. Like I tend to I only become sexually attracted to people or sexually interested in people after I've developed a personal bond with them. After I've developed that personal bond with someone, then like the possibility for sexual attraction is there. But like I don't get sexually attracted to people if I don't have some kind of relationship with them. And so like that's demisexual. And that's a part of the ace spectrum, which is kind of interesting. Like I think sapiosexual is also a part of the ace spectrum where like you're not attracted to people unless you have like some sort of like intellectual whatever. I can relate to the scared part. There are aspects of my personality I'm averse to sharing. Yeah, I get you. Isn't that the healthy way to build relationships? No, well, okay, look. Like you gotta be we have to be honest. Like sex is not like okay, there's nothing wrong with being sexually active. There's nothing wrong with that. Like if you go to a bar and you pick up a partner and you go and you sleep with that person, like inherently like yeah, of course you should be safe about it. You should use protection. You should make sure that you have a conversation about when was the last time you got tested. Like all of that shit is important, of course. Good sexual health and stuff is important, of course. But like let's be honest, like a lot of people are very sexually attracted to people without having any connection to them whatsoever. Like that I think most humans have like like they'll see a woman that they think is sexually attractive and they are sexually attracted, like they get aroused or turned on by that person. Like that is a very common thing for people. And for me personally, the experience that I have is that if I see someone who's super hot or like sexy or whatever, I think to myself, that person's hot, but I don't actually get any sexual like I don't actually find any like sexual attraction for that person unless I have like a personal connection to and relationship with that person. That is what makes me demi. Is the fact that I don't look at someone who I think is hot and just go awooga awooga. I like have to have some sort of connection with that person in order to feel the sexual attraction. Hi, what is this stream exactly? Well, this is a news and politics stream where we focus on queer and LGBTQ issues. My name is Leah. We talk about like stuff. We also talk about things from time to time. Priest type had taken a vow of chastity and was trapped in an elevator for a long time, contemplating a difference in vow of celibacy. Wait, what? What was that connected to? I don't really understand. I mean, I've heard of asexual, but I didn't really understand what that meant besides its generic biological definition. Yeah, yeah. So there's like, being asexual is a spectrum, very much like how everything is a spectrum, right? So there are some people that are completely disinterested in sex, and there are some people that are uh like, you know, interested in sex within a certain context. It's kind of like how like there are some asexual people who are like disgusted by sex. Like there are some asexual people who like literally think sex is gross and like it is something they will avoid doing, right? But there are some asexual people who just don't care, right? So it's not that they're disgusted by sex, it's that they just don't have any preference for it. Like they like it's like if it's there, whatever, sure, fine, but like they're not the kind of person to seek it out or whatever. So like there are all sorts of different kinds of asexual experiences, and that's why I think that people have a misinformation about it, or why people are confused about it very frequently, is because like when you hear asexual, you think, oh, this is someone who literally does not feel sexual attraction and does not uh do any of that, like but that's not necessarily the case. Like there's nuance, and there's a lot. It's a gradient. Well said about demi and the ace spectrum, Leah. I'll add by saying that some asexual persons do have sex and are either sex favorable or sex indifferent. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I was just talking about. Yeah, some people are sex adverse, some are sex favorable, and some are sex indifferent, and like that's just a real thing you know Leah, are you watching the latest season of Euphoria? I've never watched Euphoria. Sexuality is a spectrum, color is a spectrum, cable is a spectrum, autism is a spectrum. Uh, yes, I know that. Like, how are we going to be doing that? What do you mean? And then also, you don't see people and then say awooga? No, I don't. When I see an attractive person, I know the common experience is to go awooga as your eyes pop out of your head and your jaw like hits the floor and your tongue rolls out. Like, I know that that's the usual experience, but I unfortunately do not experience that. I think there isn't no such thing as repulsion. Asexuality is not hating sex. It's just not having the drive to have sex. Well, there is repulsion. There are people that are repulsed by sex. That is a very real thing. Ow. We had an interesting debate on a Discord server addressing sapiosexuality, WRT ableism. Wait, what does WRT mean? And I'm confused. Huh. Curious what you mean by that. With respect to? Wait. Sapiosexuality with respect to ableism. Oh, okay. Oh, that's an interesting conversation, actually. I could see how it could blend into that, but also I don't know. Like I view sapiosexuality like okay. I view sapiosexuality not as being sexually attracted to intelligence. Um I view sapiosexuality as like being attracted to how someone's brain works. So like it's not necessarily about like it's not necessarily about like, oh, their IQ is 130 plus. Oh, I'm hot. They're hot as fuck. Like, oh, whoa, like that's not necessarily what sapiosexuality is, at least in my understanding. And my understanding of it, and obviously different people have different thoughts about this, but my opinion is that like sapiosexuality is like, I really like the way your brain works kind of thing. Like I like the way you think kind of vibe, which doesn't have anything to do with like, like an autistic person could have a sapiosexual attraction to a different autistic person because they both process things similarly. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But I could see how some people do kind of actually approach it in a little bit of an ableistic way. I rarely seen someone being a wooga for real though. Yeah, true. Leah, if you could go on vacation right now, all expenses paid, where are you going? I am actually going, not on vacation, well, sort of on vacation. I'm going to a flow festival this coming weekend, and I'm going to be teaching, and I'm going to be doing all sorts of wonderful stuff. I'm so excited. And yeah, that's what I would do. Honestly, like I travel a bit for flow arts festivals and stuff, and yeah, I love that shit. That is what I want to do. Uh Sex is kind of icky, to be honest. No, for sure. Sex is a little bit gross. Sex is objectively gross. No, for sure. For sure. If we didn't have strong feelings about it, it would just be kind of like gross. A lot of fluids, a lot of squelching. Sorry, that was a gross word. Asexuality, person experiences little to no sexual attraction. Yes, it's a spectrum, and there are many micro labels and whatnot. Gray, demi, ace, flux, quo. Whoa, there's a lot of those that I don't even know anything about. Holy shit, Huckster, you just made me realize how little I know. Uh, Hi Leah. I'm in the audience again. Insane times we inhabit. It just keeps getting crazier. I wonder if November will actually have elections or if there'll be obstruction by this regime. I think we need a too big to rig. Like I think that the election in November will certainly be a blue wave. It's really just a matter of like how blue is the wave and how widespread and how whatever. But like certainly the Republicans are trying to, like, I mean, look at all the gerrymandering they're trying to do. Like the Republicans are desperately trying to pick up seats in their house in the House just by gerrymandering every single fucking state they can. And so like, they're going to pick up like 10 seats through gerrymandering. Like really the Republicans are going to do everything they can to fuck us over and to rig the election and prevent the Democrats from taking back control. But like that's why it's kind of up to us to flood the voting booths and flood the voting locations and make it too big to rig. Like I think that's why I think we got to do that. Um Almost like most things aren't binary switch and there's place for significant variation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Binary systems are just kind of bullshit. Uh Thank you for answering my question. I'm learning a lot. No, for sure. That's cool. Thank you for being here and for learning. Sex is not gross. Paying rent is gross. Paying rent is gross. That is so true. I like how Elon Musk has 1,189 Googleplex IQ according to Mecha Hitler. Yeah, that's very funny. Elon Musk is like one of the most deeply stupid people I've ever seen in my entire life. And like honestly, like they should have like what is that one show where they talk about like the advertising, but is it like Mad Men? Is that the show I'm thinking of? Where like it's about some dude who's just his job is to like sell people on ad campaigns or whatever. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, like it just goes to show like there should be like a whole episode about Elon Musk PR team and how like for the longest time they were like the Mad Men. Like the amount of positive PR that Elon Musk has uh and has burned through is like actually a really interesting story. Like I think right now it sucks and it's not like it's frustrating. It's too emotional right now because it's too like too relevant, right? But in retrospect, in retrospect, like when we're looking back on it in terms of historical stuff, it'll be really interesting to look at like Elon Musk's trajectory because like I remember when Elon Musk was like a fucking liberal, when he was like an Obama liberal. Like I remember that. And then like the path that he has taken through culture and like the amount of like positive PR he had versus like the shitstorm that he has become is like it's just really interesting. Like Elon Musk has always been this deeply stupid piece of shit human being, right? Like it's not like Elon Musk woke up one day and was like, "Actually, I'm going to be a piece of shit now." Like he's always been a piece of shit, right? But like it's just that like his marketing team did a really good job for a long time, and on top of that, he like wasn't as much of a figure and like he used to like keep his head down, you know what I mean? And like that kind of kept the heat off of him and kind of kept people from realizing how deeply stupid Musk is. But he is actually incredibly dumb. Like so stupid. So stupid. And honestly, like it's wild because people to this day still believe that like he's smart. And it's like, dude, like, have you seen anything he's done ever? He's so stupid. Mad Men is my favorite TV show of all time. Please watch that show and get back to me, everybody. Everybody in chat, go watch it. I've been told to watch it by very many people, and I tried to watch the first episode, and I bounced pretty hard off of it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to it at a later date, and I will try to. I'll try to, you know. Oh boy. All right. So it has been 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I may or may not need to consider doing this thing where I may or may not have to wrap up my stream so that I can go do some stuff. Uh Yeah. I was gonna record a video tonight, but unfortunately it's just gonna have to wait until Monday. Which is fine. I do so I do have a video coming out this weekend. I recorded a podcast. So I'm starting a podcast, right? And it's gonna be a podcast run by trans people, mostly featuring trans guests. Like I won't promise that every single guest is gonna be trans, but like the broad focus of the podcast is gonna be are gonna be trans people, trans issues, whatever. That's gonna be the framing. Hi, Fred. Fred just woke up from a nap. Yeah, did you have a good nap, buddy? You have a good nap. You want to say hi to Stream? You want to say hi to Stream? Look, there's Freddy. Oh, he's such a good boy. Yeah, he woke up from a nap and he's all sleepy. And he says, "Hi, Mom. I'm sleepy. I just woke up. Give me pets." He said, "Give me pets." But yes, we recorded the first episode of the podcast live. So if you want to see it, you can go watch it. Basically it was just like an introduction episode saying like, "Hey, here's the format, here's the plan, here's the idea. Let's gab for a little bit." So it was definitely like a little bit unfocused, but I feel like it was a good start, right? Like it's a good start. So I'm excited about the future of the podcast. I feel like it's the kind of content that I am interested in making. Like I'm really interested in having conversations with people and doing like having a lot of guests and doing all that. Like I'm very excited about that. And the future of that looks exciting. So I hope everyone else is as excited about it as I am. I did get a lot of positive responses when I announced that I was going to do the podcast. So if you are all interested, keep an eye out for this weekend. It'll probably be out Sunday. Sunday is probably the day that the podcast will go live. But keep your eye out for that. It'll probably be like Sunday mid-afternoon, evening, or early evening, or something like that. And then next week, I will have like a Monday live stream, maybe a Tuesday live stream, but probably just a Monday live stream. Record a video, have something out for the weekend, and yeah, I'll be gone. Pretty much all next weekend. So, uh, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here. I appreciate you all very, very much. If you haven't liked the stream, please do that. I have my link tree pinned in both chats. So, like, if you want to join my Discord, feel free to do that. You just click the link tree. All of my social medias will pop up there. If you're interested in flow arts, or if you're interested in the art that I produce outside of doing YouTube stuff, check out my link tree. My Instagram has all of my flow arts content on it. I would love for you to follow along on that journey because I am very passionate about it. It's the thing that I love to do more than anything. It is how I express myself. And so, yeah. Also have a Discord. You can check out the Discord link, which is also in the link tree. Would mean a lot to me if some more people would join there. You don't have to or anything, but we've got a lovely little community in the Discord, and I would love to see more people in there as well. Dadzilla, thank you so very much for the $5. And I did just want to say, Dadzilla, I don't know if you saw my replies to your comment, or if you saw what I said earlier about the inconsistent stream times, but I really appreciate you, and I thank you for the feedback, and I am sorry that it has been so chaotic lately. It's not my intention to I really care about the viewer experience, and like it's not my intention to cause problems or to like frustrate anyone with my stream schedule. I guess just like with festivals and everything, it's like either I don't know, either I do have to take a lot of time off, or I have to stream sort of inconsistently or something. I don't really know how to handle it. But anyway, point is, I appreciate you. Your support is amazing. I really appreciate it. I wanna, I don't wanna lose great supporters and viewers like you. So thank you for the feedback. Don't worry, you're the agent of chaos. I do feel like I am quite chaotic, and especially lately things have been extremely chaotic, but um it should, it'll we're living in flux, I guess. There will be some time periods where things will be kind of weird, and then there will be some weeks where it'll be completely normal, and then that'll just be the way it is. Freddy's food just distributed, and he like every time his food pops out, he like freaks out, he runs over. Anyway, I appreciate you all so very, very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging with the stream. It was wonderful. I had a great time as always. It makes me very happy to have you all as here as a part of the community. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday. So Grace, hello, welcome, and also goodbye. I'm sorry that you're popping in right at the end here. It always feels like there's always someone who pops in like right as I like am doing my rapping thing. But the VOD will be available if you want to watch it. If not, just follow your dreams or whatever. But yeah, no, I appreciate you all so very much, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Again, keep your eyes peeled for the podcast on Monday, or not Monday, the podcast release on Sunday, and hydrate or dihydrate. Peace out, everybody.
How you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that before? I just picked that up. A couple of days I'm reading, and it said us. And I said, if you think about it, us equals U.S.
I'm staying in the race.
All I know is all my haters become my waiters when I sit down at the table of success.
Please clap.